WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. Usually on the radio row set out in beautiful Phoenix, but getting ready for another Super Bowl matchup. But just as importantly around here, getting ready for a big month. And we've had Hall of Famers here each and every day. It's Radio Row month, all month long. And checking in real time, in live time, to talk about the Andy Reid Bowl and the Eagles and the Chiefs. As a former Chief himself, we welcome in Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez, talking about hearts. I guess it's good that I wore red, Tony. People think I'm just a Chiefs fan.
Well, I appreciate it.
Tell me about American Heart Month and your association with this, because then we'll get to some football here. But we're pushing some chocolate-covered strawberries this week at Wise Markets, and there's romance, and everybody thinks of hearts this month. But the American Heart Association, American Heart Month for everybody out there, needs some folks like you out in front of some information.
Yeah. Well, it's part of the campaign for Bayer. And what we're trying to get people to do is go out there and make sure that you're taking care of your heart. Go to checkyourheartrisk.com, take a little survey, see where you're at. I did the test yesterday, and it's a quick 5-minute, 10-minute max test. Asking you questions, how much do you drink, you exercise, and it give you a little assessment whether you're at low risk, medium risk, high risk, and then you can come up with a plan. And there's an interesting stat here that I learned as well, that when you're rooting for your home team, it more than doubles your chance of a heart attack for those heart-pounding moments during the game when your team isn't scoring or your team is scoring, with the good times and the bad times. So it's just a little bit of awareness to go out there and make sure you're taking care of your heart.
I'm a Ravens fan, right? So my heart's been beating here for a long time, trying to get back 10 years later. And, I looked and saw how long you've been out of the game. I'm close with Mike Smith, your former coach in Atlanta in the years. Your association to the Chiefs and to this game, and obviously Hall of Famer, all of that, but winning this game and for Patrick Mahomes and the city, and to see how it's not transformed that city. It was always a sea of red when we went out there and played you 15, 20 years ago. But for Kansas City to win and to be up that mountain and now be looking at something that would look like a dynasty.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier for him. I look back, it's a little bittersweet because obviously I spent 12 years of my career there, and we never even came close to doing what this team has done, what Andy Reid has done, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, the rest of those star players have done for that city, and those fans, they deserve it. They've been down, like I said, when they were watching us, and to see them go out there and have the success, everybody shares into it. That town, when I go back to Kansas City, that city, it's just a different feel. When the home team is winning, everybody feels better. So I'm really couldn't be happier for those guys.
Well, they take sports pretty seriously in Philadelphia too. I mean, this is an interesting fan base matchup, but I think even more so with Andy Reid sort of being in the middle of it in this matchup of a quarterback that's done it and a quarterback that's trying to do it. And where the Eagles have sort of come from, the fact that they win a championship, it feels like 5 minutes ago. Jimmy Schwartz is a buddy of mine. I had a lot of Joe Douglas, a lot of people involved with that Eagles team 5 years ago. So it was exciting, but it's all turned around. It's a completely different, really a different heart in operation that Howie Roseman's put together there. Really a tribute to that franchise.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head right there. And everybody's been talking about it, and they should be. Howie Roseman, what he's been able to build and the moves that he's made, you take those risks. And Brett Veach, the GM from Kansas City, same thing. You trade away Tyreek Hill. Everybody's saying, what the hell are you doing? What's going on? Where Howie Roseman, you trade away Carson Wentz. You draft Jalen Hurts in the second round. You think you already have a franchise quarterback. I mean, this is what it takes. You got to make those splash plays, and that takes guts, takes acorns, and if you got to, and sometimes it doesn't pay off, by the way. But these guys have been able to orchestrate these unbelievable rosters. They brought in great coaches to coach the talent that they brought in, and this is what happens. This is what good organizations do. I think Philly. It seems like that window is just opening up for them, by the way. I think that, they're going to have a chance to do what Kansas City's been doing for the last couple of years, is because of Jalen Hurts being on that rookie deal. So they're going to be able to keep flooding talent around him, keep protecting him. And then the way Patrick Mahomes did, a lot of people don't even talk about this, the way he structured his second deal, that big mega deal, that $500 million deal. It was over a 12-year period. Most of these guys sign those 6-year, 5-6-year deals, and that kills your cap. But Patrick plays the long game, kind of like what Tom Brady did his whole career. And he says, hey, I'll spread it out. Maybe I'll make a little bit less money overall, but we're gonna flood our team with talent, and we're gonna go out there and win Super Bowls and be in the mix every single year, and maybe not have those down years. So really good what both these franchises have been able to do.
A pleasure to visit with Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez here on behalf of Bear and Fans Hearts and American Heart Month. We'll get all the information out to you on all that. It's interesting with you talk about Mahomes and having a deal and having a long deal. And Lee Steinberg comes on every year with us from Radio Row, and it's Radio Row Month here at WNST in Baltimore Positive. But the tight end position for you and Lamar, and in that sort of an offense, and what it's meant for Mark Andrews, who I know was out on Radio Row earlier this year, and maybe even Gronkowski taking what Dave Casper and those guys left for you and the next generation of what the tight end position has been. But in this offense, Jalen Hurts' offense as well, tight end becomes even more important, right? It's amped up. Your position is amped up even more a generation later, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at all the teams that have been able to win Super Bowls over the last 10 years, they all have tight ends like Kelsey. They have Dallas Goddard out there in Philly right now. Mark Andrews, like you said, I mean, you got to have that dynamic playmaking tight end in any offense if you want to go the distance. It seems like that's a key ingredient for any great offense.
Well, you didn't mention Gronkowski, but he won them all because of Brady there. Let's go back to American Heart Month. For people, I think, and maybe this would even speak to your being an athlete, sometimes you don't want to know, right? You're a little afraid, right? I mean, especially as dudes, sort of famously, man, I don't want to check my prostate. I don't want to check, I'm afraid of finding out. Well, I'm 54 years old, Tony. So like for anyone out there, give them what they can do right now to get involved in this on behalf of Bear.
Well, I love how you said that, but I can put that into a football analogy. You got to be prepared for everything. You never know what's coming down the road. And if you haven't put in that preparation, getting ready for a potential storm, then that's on you, and it's your fault. And so what Bear has come up with, you can go to the, talked about it before, but go to checkyourheartrisk.com, start there. It's an easy little, it takes about 5-10 minutes. I took it yesterday, and you can go out there and just see where you're at. Low risk, high risk, medium risk. And then you come up with a plan, and you can be prepared, because there's a lot of people that besides you, there's loved ones out there dependent on you, that want to see you around. And so I would definitely say the best time to start is right now. As soon as you hear this message, go to the website and get started on your personal health program.
Well, I love when the Hall of Famers like you come on and give this great advice that I'm very, very happy to dispense, not only on the web and out on the radio, about taking care of themselves, because a lot of times, unless we have a wife or family member nudging us or pushing us along a little bit, it doesn't happen. Last thing for you, because you did change teams. And by the way, Mike Smith just texted me. He said, Tony is one of the best teammates I ever coached. He changed the way the position was played, was a mismatch no matter how you tried to defend him. I hope you're enjoying Super Bowl week. So Smitty sends his love to you. You changed teams around that time. You did our show in 2008 in Phoenix. I have a picture of you in front of our mic flag during that period of time. I think I might have been at the Tom Petty press conference or something. Don't judge me though, Tony. But for you and changing teams and Lamar and where he is right now, and it's a different era, and we're talking about $200 million of guaranteed money. It's a different world, but changing teams and making that move. Some guys never did it. Ray Lewis here famously, who you may have outdanced that day. But for you with changing a team at this point in your career, what do you make of Lamar's thing right now?
God, it's so complicated, because obviously financials gets involved, and it has to. I mean, we're talking about guys' future. This football thing does not last forever, and it's a business. You've heard people say that it's a business, but with Lamar, I think he's wise. I mean, he's going out there. He wants to get paid. He's earned it. They don't want to give it to him for some reason. That's pretty much plain and simple. And because maybe he's the running quarterback and all that stuff. But these things, they always have a way of working themselves out. They always do. I got a feeling Lamar's going to be out there in Baltimore. But if he does move to another team, that's just the nature of the beast. But these franchise quarterbacks, They don't come around too often, and Lamar's certainly one of the best. And hopefully they can get this thing worked out, because I'd love to see him stay out there in Baltimore.
Tony, back in your day, we have different quarterback here every year until Flacco, right? I mean, we obviously the Bullies of Baltimore, all that, and Trent Dilfer. We went through a decade without a quarterback here, so we've been fortunate and very fortunate to spend time with you. Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez here on behalf of Bear and Fans Hearts and American Heart Month. Tony, thanks for the window and thanks for the time, man. Always appreciated watching you play.
All right, bud. Take care. Have a good week.
You got it. Tony Gonzalez on behalf of Bear and Fans Hearts. I am Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Radio Row Month here at Baltimore Positive. Stay with us.